Welcome to the DNVR pregame Broncos show, brought to you live in the Toyota Lounge and brought to you by our presenting sponsors, Coors Light. And you guys know Coors Light is the beer specifically made to chill, and you know when the Coors Light is ready to drink because you see these blue mountains right here. These are the Rockies. And when those are blue, that is the perfect time to enjoy your Coors Light. So we're presented by Coors Light, and I'll be having plenty today because not only are the Broncos playing the Raiders, but it is also my anniversary. So I got to say, shout out to my lovely wife, Gina.
Happy.
Congrats.
I love you, babe. Happy anniversary,
sir.
9 years strong. Let's keep it going. But one thing we don't want to keep going is this losing streak to the Raiders. We've lost 8 in a row. So for 4 years, we have not beat the whether they were the Las Vegas Raiders or the Oakland Raiders. It was rough. Been able to beat them. It was rough for us for a minute. What do you guys expect to see this game? Like, how do we get over that hump? Like, mentally as, like, players and the team, how do you get over beating somebody that you haven't beaten in 4 years?
I think this is the year with the mentality of how we start the season off. I think this turning point of a division game too, and it's a rival game at that. For sure. Is where the Broncos say, hey, it's time for us to turn our season over, 1, and 2, let's stop losing to these guys who's not who the Raiders used to be. They're right now dismantled with not a real starting quarterback. Love you, Minshew, but not a real starting quarterback. And then Adams, who's their guy over there, who's supposed to be, the leader of the team, who don't want to be there right now. Yep. So while they're dysfunctional right now, I think this is the time to get at it.
Yeah, it's funny though. I feel like Todd mentioned it. We haven't beat them in 4 years, but I mean, I feel like the Raiders were dysfunctional the last 4 years,
Absolutely.
the last 8 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't think that really matters, right? I feel like they have this kind of a confidence with them when it comes to playing the Broncos, right? And, it comes with a mentality, and the guys have to go out and just take it. But, unfortunately, I feel like, the guys that are on the team now are not the ones that were here every single year, you know what I mean? So it's a lot of turnover. So it's a new leaf, but yeah, you want to go out there and beat your in-division rival, you know what I mean? And it's a divisional game. So that's number one important. Then number 2, it's been a couple years. So let's see what the boys can go out there and do today.
Let's see, man, because like you said, this is a division rival. So when you're playing in your division, these games always count double. Like, it's very important for us to try and win the division. And if we want to be a really good team, that's what you have to do. And our division is loaded with some good teams, some good quarterbacks, and a lot of good coaching talent. But nonetheless, you got to try and win your division. I remember for years, we ran the division. There was nobody out there that we felt threatened by. Kansas City wasn't nice. Mm-mm. You knew you were going to roll on the Chargers. Mm-hmm. The Raiders always gave you a couple of battles. But I want to see the Broncos get back there. And I know it's a long stretch to get there, but I think it honestly starts today. This Raiders team, like you said, they have their own trauma. Davante Adams is inactive. We all know that he, asked to be traded. We got to take a second and talk about, he could go anywhere. What would this game look like if Davante Adams was in a Bronco uniform?
That's a different ball game. And I'm with you, London, out there. I see you right here on Twitter talking about Bo Nix for 250 plus 3 touchdowns.
I hope.
That's a possibility. We had Adams, but it's a real possibility today, even with Sutton. That's the thing about it. Today is a big game for Bo. And if he come out and play and the O-line protects him and let this guy make the reads, him and Sutton can have a day today for sure.
Was Cosby inactive today?
No.
Well,
Crosby's
then,
playing.
honestly, it don't matter to me. Adams is on the other side of the ball. And I'm not worried about the defense. We see that the defense is going out there and playing. I think Vance Joseph is putting a great game plan each and every week together, right? And putting the defense in a great situation. So I'm not really worried about the defense. I think that they can get to the quarterback today. They'll stop the run, hopefully, and keep this in a manageable game for us, right? But then, on the flip side, what can we do on offense? That's what it's going to come down to. The defense, if they can hold them to 17 and less, we can get a win. But if you make this a shootout kind of game, a 21 and over kind of game, 21-plus game, it's going to be a long day for the Broncos. So I'm not worried about that. Adams is out. I don't see no one on that defense that's out that's important.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't see this really being a shootout game. With their offense being not beat up like that, not really going the way they're supposed to be able to shoot it the way they supposed to. And they ain't really put up that many points this season already.
No, they haven't been a good offense.
The Raiders?
The Raiders haven't been good.
Well, they put up 20+ in each of them. Even in their losses, they put up 20+.
Yes.
And they played the Ravens when it was early in the season. It was a different Ravens team.
It's a win is a win.
A win is a win.
Yep.
They beat a Browns team that we thought was going to be good coming into the season, that has a good defense, right? And they scored, like I said, they're scoring 20+, except for the first game of the season. So can we score 20 or more? That's what it's going to come down to.
We haven't been able to do it this year, except for one time against the Tampa Bay Bucks. We had a good game. But I think this is a really big game for Bo and Sean Payton, because I don't think you want your quarterback having 60 yards in back-to-back games. Like, you have to create a precedent like last week was a fluke almost, and like, this is really who our quarterback is. I feel like we have to get him mentally prepared to play the entire season.
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't see no rain. I don't see no snow. I see some sun out there, right? So no excuses. I was tired of hearing last week
I hear you.
The weather. Both quarterbacks did not have trouble.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers, yes, made some difficult throws that, that wasn't typical of Aaron Rodgers. That was because of the defense putting pressure on him. It wasn't because he couldn't throw in the rain, all right? He still had 200+, no touchdowns, but 200+ in the air.
It was sunshine. It was sunshine overseas today, and he looked a little rough today. Aaron Rodgers ain't who he used to be. So
yeah, understandable. But it was about the weather.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful day out there right now today.
So there
we're
could be
gonna need Bo to show up.
there's no excuses, I guess you're saying, with today. Like, the weather is great. Should be a great day for the Broncos. It's alumni week, so it's a lot of support at the stadium, a lot of Broncos. Steve Foley, I think, is going to the Ring of Fame. They're honoring Randy Gradishire for being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
They're wearing the old school unis.
They're wearing the old school. Like, this is
throwback day.
This is a game to, like, this we talked about. This is like your homecoming game. Like, everybody's coming back. They want to see how you ball. We got on the fresh unis. You know what I'm saying? You have a Raiders team who is not that nice. Like, you should be able to go out there and ball today. You here got some pictures of some guys coming into the stadium. Like, everybody's rocking like retro Broncos gear. Like, I feel like the whole team is up for this game.
Shoot, talking about gear, I might have to throw my Bo Lee merch. You feel me? Let me crack this open. Let me see what we got right here. We got that Bo Lee going, man. What are we talking about?
Let's effing Bo, baby.
Let's effing Bo.
Let's go. We
I
here.
hope so, man.
I like it.
I think Knowshon got one too. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I got one. Listen, I'm gonna leave it in the wrapper until he shows that he can go out and pass for more than 60 yards.
I like it.
I think he's going to get it done today, for sure. For sure. I really do believe. And I think it's not that, I'm just optimistic about it. You feel me? It's really one of those days. I think, it's time for him to make that change and that step over the hump. And this kid has the experience to go out there and play big boy ball. I think, like I said, with Sean Payton, when he slows the game down and he lets this guy and give him better play calls and get these kids involved, and this is the week to do it against your rivals, where you're going to pound the ball up more. This is what those type of games come down to, right? You start pounding the ball. You want to show who's more physical. So I think they start pounding the ball, give them little play actions, start letting them hit those guys down the field a little bit. I think this week can open up the playbook for him a little bit more.
I think it's going to be good, man. We talking a lot about Bo. Let's see how he walked into the stadium today. He had on a jersey.
You got that Atwater?
He had
Is
on
that
the
him?
Steve. No, that's Brandon Jones, your guy.
Oh, okay, B. Jones. Okay, yeah.
But Bo had on, the John Elway retro jersey. Now, in your opinion, when you rock somebody's jersey to the stadium, do you have, you got to ball out? Like, you can't wear John jersey and then not have 200 plus and 2 tubs, right?
It's an Elway day. He looking clean in that joint. I tell you that.
He looks smooth.
He look clean in it,
But how would you feel somebody wearing a Knowshon, a Moreno jersey, and then go out there and have 10 carries for 7 yards?
Nah, I understand it. It's just more giving that respect. Hey, the day, the atmosphere of this game, right? There's a lot of people here, so you kind of get, paying your respect. And I wouldn't feel no kind of way, but at the same time, man, you got to go out there and show that. Go out there and show us you can do it and put the team on your back when you need to. And, you're going to have to maybe do it with your legs like Elway did. So. But it is kind of dope just seeing everyone rocking different jerseys.
Yeah, that was dope. I think that's dope when you honor the, the Broncos for you. Well, I did an alumni event yesterday, and they were just like, it's so much love when the like Broncos come back together. Like even guys you didn't play with, and almost like you go right back into the locker room. It doesn't matter if the guy is like 80 years old and you're 30, and like it's like we all shared that same experience of playing for this Broncos team, playing for the organization, playing here in the city of Denver, and like it just comes back to being like kids again, you know?
Oh, for sure.
Good time. Good
for sure,
time.
man.
So let's get into some of these predictions, man. I saw Vance Joseph yesterday, and we talked about that defense just a little bit, and he just said, we're young, but we're hunting. Like, that's exactly how I felt about the defense. What do you guys expect to see from the defense today? Because if we're going to win this game, I think the defense has to show up like they've been showing up every week.
The biggest thing for me is, like I said last week, I think the big guys in front got to get a little bit more involved. When you're looking for your team to get a spark and your team to go out there and, get a up on somebody, when those big guys on the defensive side of the ball start getting involved and start turning up, having fun, getting those sacks on the quarterback, and especially a quarterback that's, like I like to say, that's not a true starting quarterback.
Yep.
Like, he's not that guy. And when we can get him frazzled and get him rattled back there, get him making mistakes, it starts to be a changing momentum in the game. And I think the defense got to come up. The D-line specifically got to step up and put more pressure, get more sacks, just get hits on the quarterback overall.
Yeah, I agree. Because, I mean, they don't have the same offensive weapons that they had to start the season. Devontae Adams is out. They do have Jacoby Myers, which he's a very, very good wide receiver. Not elite, but he's a good wide receiver. They have Brock Bowers, who's a rookie tight end. And he's giving people some trouble. He's making some plays as a rookie tight end. What's the key to stopping him today?
Exactly. We're going to see if our linebackers can cover, some tight ends today. We're going to see. And I can't help but look over at that Raiders team and see, someone that, I would have been kind of happy to get a Brock Bowers on this team. I don't care if a Stenham is throwing to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Listen, he got Minshew throwing to him right now. He has 200 plus in the air right now at the tight end position.
Yep.
Do y'all know what we have at that tight end position right now, yards-wise?
We don't have to, dive into it too much, but it's not. It's
enlighten us a little bit.
I'll let you know. It's below 30. All right. Greg Dulcich is our leading tight end right now in receiving yards at 28 yards in 4 games.
And he's inactive today.
Right? And I know we're talking about the defense, but on the offensive side, man, I would love to see those tight ends get a little bit more active in this game, man.
Yeah.
That's just not going to cut it, man. I don't care who's throwing you the ball. You got to have more than that at the tight end position. That we all know that's a quarterback's favorite friend is that tight end. I think the second favorite friend. I think a great running game is the first for a young quarterback.
I was just about to say, you can't get tight end involved until you get that run game involved, right?
Got to have that run game going, right? But you want to get your tight end involved in this game plan. But I think let's see if these linebackers can cover a tight end, and Brock Bowers is a really good player. Last week he didn't have too good of a game.
Yeah.
He went 2 for 19, I think. So let's keep that going. Keep him bottled up. You mentioned Myers right on the outside. Other than that, man, if we can control those 2 guys and then, of course, stop that run game, it's going to be an easy day for the defense.
Yeah, let's keep diving into this defense and this opposing offense. But before we go any further, I got to tell you once again about our friends over at Coors Light. Coors Light is the beer that is made to chill. If you want to have a chiller mindset, grab yourself some Coors Light. You'll definitely enjoy it. If you want to come down to the bar is getting packed. There's a lot of people coming in. It's going to be great energy. When the Broncos are winning, when the Broncos are on, the DNVR is the place that DNVR bar is the place that you want to be, and you want to be here enjoying yourself some Coors Light. So if you want Coors Light delivered straight to your door and you can't make it to the bar, you can go to CoorsLight.com/DNVR. You can get it through Instacart. Remember to celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company in Golden, Colorado. Now let's keep diving into this Raiders offense because they don't do too many things well. But I have to say they did run the ball really well last week and had over 150 yards rushing. Our Broncos defense is solid all the way around, but we have had some holes in the running game kind of early in the season. Like, what do you guys feel about our matchups, our defense versus their offense running the football?
I think Myers and Allen, those guys set the edge over there, and we get our guy Jones up in the middle, pushing that pocket. Linebackers step up and hitting the holes. We have a chance. I think guys fly around well enough for our defense that we make we make tackles. We'll have no problem with that, right?
Yeah.
So it's just going to be us holding those guys over there. They are experienced. It's going to be a good battle up front. It's not going to be a dominating type game. But I think at the end of the day, if those guys go out there and, like I said, they show out today, show up in pressure on the quarterback early, forcing them to go into a one-dimensional type game, making them run the ball. Now we load the box with our smaller guys and put pressure on these guys with our little guys stepping in and making key plays. We'll definitely have a shot at that run game today.
Yeah, because that was always like our mentality, like as a defensive unit, like whatever you do best, like we want to take that away.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, you got like make Gardner. If Gardner Minshew beat you and he throw for 300, like
right, and that's not gonna.
It's not gonna happen. But let's see if you can do that.
Right, and I think that's what Vance Joseph does great, and he's been doing great so far. In the beginning of the season, is taking away what that team does great.
Yeah.
You saw it last week with Rodgers. You know that Rodgers was going to try to air that thing out, right? They took him away.
Yeah.
So today, if that's the run game, right? If they went ham last week in the run game, I think he'll dial up something really, really perfect to stop that run game and make a Minshew try to beat us with his arm when we know that's not going to happen. He can't do it consistently throughout the whole game.
Yeah, and I don't really see much area like for a running game for there. I mean, like we're third in the amount of pressures we have. We're like second in sacks. Like all we do is get after the quarterback and the running game by pressuring. Like as a running back, I think it's even harder to run against teams that pressure you all the time because all the gaps that you see are going to be filled by bodies as opposed to you having 2 or 3 steps for your O-lineman to get up on a linebacker.
Right, or it might take you off your read, or you might, you be going for the A gap, B gap, and and you got a stunt coming back into that gap on you, and you makes you have to bounce it or something like that, right? Yeah. So I think that pressure and doing games up front is definitely tough for a run game, but if they catch you in it, it could be a big game as well, right? But I haven't seen that thus far this year with the Broncos.
Yeah. So I think it'll be good. We'll be a good defensive unit and another good game for our defense. They continue to rack them up. If they keep playing like this, I think they'll be the number 1 defense in the league pretty shortly. I think we're rated
They're going
number
to
2.
have to. There's no more thinking for me anymore. They have to play like this every single week for us to be competitive.
Got to.
And that's not me being a hater. Listen.
You take the glass.
Listen, man. The eyes don't lie.
Uh-huh.
All right? If your eyes is telling you something, it's probably true, right? And it hasn't looked good. Until that changes, I ain't going to change the way I think about the team and then think about the things that are going on. That doesn't mean I don't want them to win. I want them to go out there and win, but you got to go out there and show it. If you think I'm talking bad about the Broncos, you should hear me about them Georgia Bulldogs because them boys been wilding lately. So, yeah.
A lot of teams been wilding. Georgia been wilding. SC been wilding.
Man, talk about those Trojans, dog.
I don't know
What's
what
going
that was,
on?
Yeah. It was a crazy day in college football yesterday.
Yes.
It was like 4 top teams going out. Miami almost lost. They came back and won a late game.
38-39.
So
I love those Trojans, but Miller had a rough one. He was looking like that boy.
But what I tell you about him already? This is about a week or 2 ago. What did I tell you about him? It's just one game, but he ain't what we all thought he was. Just like Carson Beck. Carson Beck was, I think, the number 1 quarterback coming into the season.
But
he
you
don't
already
look like that.
You already said you was a little bit shaky.
Doesn't mean he
Beck.
can't play well and he can't continue it, but it don't look good right now. Same thing with Bo.
It's kind of compared. SC, they couldn't run the ball. They couldn't. He didn't make the right choice of making passes, right? And that's the same thing we got over here with the Broncos. We can't run the football, and Bo Nix has a hard time making the right pass. Even though it's tight coverage, he wants to force it, and it's about being able to have progression, being able to read the field. And like you said, you want tight ends to get more involved. We need a quarterback who can go through his progressions, hit those check downs when needed, know not to overforce the ball, not to pit your team in bad situations. If we get Bo today, and like I said, that coaches to dial up more play action, let him make more dump down type plays, and let him get into a rhythm, I think we definitely had a better chance today on offense getting rolling.
I'll tell you what, over-under on 60 yards passing, there's no way he can have another game like that. He's going to be over today. Yes,
Definitely
hopefully
over.
he's going to look better. Hopefully that run game continues on what they were doing last week with Javonte. I thought he looked really good, right? Let's continue that run game, and let's make Bo look a little better, and I think the play calling will be better today. So he can't get any worse than last week. It ain't no way.
No, I think he's going to be better, but something that will definitely help him be better is that he needs help all around him. Like, in order for him to be the Bo that we all want him to be, he's definitely going to need some help. And that brings us to our next segment, and that's the game changers that we want to see or are expecting to see within this game. We all picked a player that we're expecting to see big things from. And when guys on your team play good around you, it always helps you as the starting quarterback. As a rookie, puts less on your plate, allows you to have an easier day, and hopefully it's not as stressful. So I'll start with my game changer. My game changer for this game right here is Javonte Williams. I feel like he hit a groove last week. Yeah. He had 77 yards, 4.8 a carry. That was his season high. He definitely felt like he was running behind his pass, and it felt like the O-line was blocking really well for him. So if Bo's going to be successful, I think that Javonte has to have a big game today. And he's going up against a Raiders defense who is not very good. In their 4 games this year, they have given up over 5 yards a carry to running backs. So this is really a game where Javonte should be able to run behind his pads and really lead this Broncos offense. I want Javonte to be the face of the offense today. I want Bo Nix to have a good game, but I really want Javonte to have like a breakout game, a sensational game, and something that we're all sitting here talking about after the game.
Definitely.
For sure. I love that.
Well, for me, man, I'm on the other side of the ball. I'm going to defense. I'm going with Zach Allen. So, big guys, we don't really get that much shine on our side. Plus, my dude, he's a 9'9". So, hey, 2 sacks already early on the season. Yeah. I think, going into the last week, he had some good pressures on the quarterback. Came out the game, 4 tackles in that game. He was a big factor for our defense, making some key plays. I think the biggest thing, though, we got to get some more sacks, right?
Yeah.
And it's hard when you're the 3-4 defense, but when you have the defensive coordinator who can dial up different pressures, different stunts across the board, we just need a little bit more out of our front. And I think this is the week where it's an experienced group. They're not young over there on the offensive line, but I don't think they got the skill set that they can match up with these guys on our defense side. When they coming in and stunts, they don't do well against it. And I think this is time for Zach Allen to go out there and stock up on his stats.
Yeah, I agree with this one. Zach Allen has been balling like he's probably played the best out of really any D lineman in the league. Like if you look at his stats, he has the sacks, he has the pressures. He's second in the league in pressures and hurries. Like he is the one-on-one matchups, he's winning every time. The only time you can like even get a piece of him, you got to double team him. So his ability to play is allowing everybody to eat because Jones comes in and gets a one-on-one. Then the outside edge guys have one-on-ones. Like when he balls,
he set the edge for those guys that coming in the corner blitzes, right?
Exactly.
They worried about him and what he's going to do on these different stunts and how they get him moving, and now it sets up for everybody. So I think Zach Allen, you're going to have you a day today.
Let's do it.
Love that, man. All good pick. All right, one on offense, one on defense so far. My game changer today, I'm going to go with Brandon Jones. I think when we lost, Justin Simmons was gone, there was a lot of questions on the back end. Hey, who's going to step into that role?
Yep.
I think Brandon Jones has stepped into that role, man. I love the way that he's playing. He's flying around.
Yep.
He's got a pick on the year. He's making big tackles, right? And I think we're going to need him today to be flying around again. If they're going to make it a pass game, I think he'll get him one today, and then he'll stick his face in there in the run game and make some big tackles. So that's what I love about him. So for me today, I'm going to go Brandon Jones. I'm going that defensive side. I think for us, that'll be a breakout player.
I think so, man. I think Brandon Jones has been playing great. Like you said, he has a pick on the year. He has a fumble return for a year. He has a forced fumble on the year. Like when you talk about losing Justin Simmons, like that's what Justin was. He was the best safety in the league at getting turnovers
for a very, very long time.
For a long time. So for Brandon to come in here and kind of replace him and play as well as he has, we really needed that on this defense, and we need to continue to have that production from him. If he plays well at that, can he get those shoes? What is he? What's his surprise for a game? I don't know if you guys are picking it up. But these shoes are shining right now. I think we're in 4K, but I don't know if you can see all that.
Yeah, someone said shine. I had a gray shirt on. This is a black. I actually do. I didn't know. I didn't even think about this.
They say you're just like the Raiders out here,
This is Raiders color. That's so weird.
No, that's gold. Black and gold.
It's black and gold, right?
Yeah.
It's not black and silver, right?
No, you gold.
So I'm good. Man, calm down. You got me second guessing my fit. And
also, let us know y'all game changers out there, too. Who y'all think today's game changers is going to be?
Yeah.
Go and see who's going to dominate the game. Let us know.
Yeah, Toyota chat. Let us know who you guys feel like is going to be the game changer of the game this week. And before we move into our Bet 365 picks, we got a super chat. Can you make it bigger? If Bo Nix throws for 2 TDs and the Broncos get a win, Knowshon has has got a shotgun of beer for us on the post game or something.
Wait, let me see. What's the bet, though?
Shout out Adam, you know what I'm saying?
I like that, Adam. Hey,
Bo
appreciate
Nix,
it.
2 TDs.
2 tugs?
You know, you shotgun a Coors Light.
Throw some yards on there. Throw some yards on there.
All right, let's.
Because
some yards?
How many?
What you mean?
2 TDs.
What's 2 TDs is
150,
like?
150 and 2 TDs.
150?
150 and 2 TDs. Bet.
All right, 175, 2 TDs.
Bet good.
175,
I know
2
Adam.
TDs. I'll
I'm
do
sure
something.
he'll take that. I think that
Yeah,
bet
I'll do
is
something.
Adam. I just know he believe a little bit that he threw some of those yards on there.
He believe.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I just want him to do it. I want him to do it, though.
Yeah, he gonna do that.
Yeah.
He gonna
Okay.
get it done today.
So bet good. And if you guys are looking for some good bets, you guys got to go over to Bet365. Our pregame picks segment is brought to you by Bet365. You can download the Bet365 app and use code DNVR365 when you sign up. Choose your offer and find out why whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. And here we have 3 picks for you that we think are going to be great today. Bo Nix, anytime touchdown. You know, he had one last week. It was the one that kind of sealed the game to Cortland Sutton. Anytime touchdown is plus 210. So I think that's great because he's had quite a few touchdowns on the year, mostly using his legs. Now he got one through the air. So this is just any time touchdown. He can get it passing. He can get it rushing. I think it's a good bet.
That's a heck of a bet. That's if they get in the red zone, he's for sure gonna get him a touchdown. Even like you say, if they go legs or not, Bo Nix is guaranteed in that red zone to get you a score. Now, what he do to get you down to that red zone is always questionable, but that's a great bet. 250.
Let's do it.
210.
And the next one we got is Bo Nix, 25 yards rushing is plus 115. Although we don't want our quarterback to lead our team in rushing, he has done it quite a few weeks. Last week he didn't do it, but he has had about 2,500 yards 3 times this year. So I think this is a pretty good bet too. You know, if things kind of shut down in the back end of the defense, we know that he's pretty good at getting out and using his legs to get down the field.
Because you'll say what? He'll probably have 4, probably 6 scrambles today for sure.
Yeah.
That was like for sure going to happen.
Yeah.
So good 5, 10 yards per pickups. So
Exactly.
that's a great bet for sure.
Yeah, I think
you gotta take that bet.
4 to 6 rushes, probably averaging like 6 yards a rush when he does take off with the ball. Because, you know, they'll also sprinkle in a little bit of like zone read game where he'll pull it and get out a little bit.
Design plays,
Exactly. And then the last one we got for you is Jaleel plus 10 attempts. We talked about Javonte early in the game. I think this is going to be a game for the running backs to really do their thing. And, you know, we have 2 good running backs, and Jaleel really hasn't found his stride. But if you want to be successful, you need a good 1-2 punch from those guys. And I think it's time for us to get Jaleel going. We've been doing some stuff, you know, getting him the ball, swing routes, but it's time for him to hit some more downhill running game and be able to use his speed.
Mm-hmm. I like those.
All right, and then we have one more. Okay, bet. All good. And I see the Toyota chat. You guys are throwing out some game
keep
changers.
the chat stuff going, man.
You
I love
guys
it.
got Cortland going in there for 100 yards. Troy Franklin, Josh Reynolds, Adam Troutman, Bo Nix, Javonte. You guys got a lot of game changers that you want to see this game. But I think it's going to be a great game for us. I think it's a very winnable game. The Raiders are not a great team. Mm-hmm. So if we want to be good, if we want to be back in the playoff talks and talking about Super Bowls in the next couple of years, we got to start winning these AFC West matchups, and I think it starts today. We're honoring, once again, Steve Foley and Randy Gradishile, so there's no better day to get a win than when you're having legends in the building. So hopefully they get one. We'll have a lot to talk about on the postgame show. Catch us. We'll all be on there. Myself, Knowshon, Jurrell. We'll see you guys after the game.
Let's go, Broncos. Let's go.
Let's go, Broncos.
We all silly like the mayor.